One bright and breezy afternoon on Bumblebee Farm, and the sun was shining as brightly as ever. In the green meadow near the barn, two cows, Daisy and Buttercup, were happily chewing their grass. They were the jolliest cows on the farm, always full of laughter and cheer, and today was no different. "Let's play a game, Daisy," Buttercup mooed, her tail flicking excitedly. "I've got an idea." Daisy blinked her big brown eyes and tilted her head. "What kind of game, Buttercup?" "I think," said Buttercup, "we should put tiny bells around our necks, and every time we move, we'll make a lovely ding-dong sound. It'll be like we're playing a tune." "Oh, that sounds delightful," Daisy mooed with a grin, her long ears flopping as she stood up from the grass. So, with a little mooing and clinking, the two cows trotted over to the old wooden shed, where the farmer kept his shiny little bells. Buttercup used her nose to nudge the bell strings off the shelf, and Daisy carefully tied them around their necks with some soft twine. "Now listen to this," Daisy giggled, prancing about in circles. "Ding-dong, ding-dong," went the bells, ringing merrily. "I love it," laughed Buttercup, clapping her hooves. "Let's see who can make the best music." And so the two cows began to prance and jig about the meadow, their bells ringing happily with every step. The sound was so jolly that it caught the attention of the other animals on the farm. First, old Mrs. Grumble the sheep trotted over, curious about the noise. When she saw Daisy and Buttercup dancing in the sun, she tilted her head and bleated. "What are you two up to now?" "We're playing a bell ring tune," Buttercup explained, shaking her head in delight, which made her bell ring even louder. "Come join us, Mrs. Grumble. You can make music too." "Oh, I'm not much of a dancer," said Mrs. Grumble, but she couldn't resist joining in. So she trotted over to them, and Daisy carefully tied a small bell around Mrs. Grumble's neck. "Now, every time you move, you'll make a sound," Daisy said, and with a little nod from the sheep, Mrs. Grumble gave an excited baa and pranced in circles. Ding dong went the bells, and the sound made the chickens by the barn cackle with curiosity. Soon they waddled over, and before long the whole chicken flock, clucking merrily, had little bells tied to their feathers. "Look at us," clucked Henrietta, the head hen. "We're part of the band." As if on cue, the horses, Ginger and Thunder, galloped into the meadow, hearing the merry clinking and clattering of bells. "What's going on here?" they neighed. "We're having a bell ring dance," laughed Daisy. "Come join the fun." And so the horses, with their long necks and proud postures, clopped over to the cows and sheep, and soon enough they too were jingling and jangling with tiny bells tied to their manes. The meadow was now filled with a chorus of sounds. Ding-dong, cluck, cluck, baa, baa. The animals danced and pranced around, making the silliest and most joyful music ever heard on Bumblebee Farm. At one point, even the ducks waddled over, flapping their wings and joining in the dance, quacking with glee. "Quack, quack, what a tune! What a tune!" they cried. The bells jingled with every step, and the whole farm was alive with laughter, music, and the happiest sounds you could imagine. Even the flowers in the meadow seemed to be dancing to the beat of the jingling bells. After a while, the animals grew tired and flopped down on the soft grass, exhausted but happy. They lay there in the warm sun, listening to the soft jingling of the bells as they caught their breath. "Well," said Buttercup with a contented sigh, "that was the most fun I've had in ages. I think we've started a new farm tradition." "I agree," said Daisy, giving her friend a gentle nudge. "Let's do it every week, and maybe next time we can invite the rabbits and the frogs." The two cows laughed together, their bells still softly ringing in the quiet afternoon. And from that day on, whenever the sun shone bright and the breeze was just right, the animals of Bumblebee Farm would gather in the meadow, with bells around their necks, and dance together in the most joyful and silly way imaginable. The farm had never been more full of happiness.